Okay, highlights.
Oh, Tay. I am here, and I seem to have misplaced my microphone. There it is. Why are you not showing up? Okay, background, why are you not playing? There we go. For some reason it didn't want to play my
You have intro music?
I have music that I play, but
You have intro music.
not intro music, but just
It's music that you play when you start your stream?
no, just music that's running in the background the whole time.
You have intro music. You have music.
Yeah, I have music.
I gotta get in on this.
It's royalty-free music on YouTube.
Nothing wrong with that. I actually have some royalty-free music on my computer. I should do something with it.
And I don't need to post to Discord because Enchilada beat me to it.
Hey!
Thanks, Enchilada. The music is playing, the microphone is working, my screen had better be showing up. It is showing up. And my Tegu is asleep. I'm sleepy.
We'll do this for a little while, and then later on we're gonna watch The Thing.
The Thing. Oh, I haven't even picked out a color for that yet. Oh, whoops. And the Janets, for some reason... Okay, they're kind of in frame now. I gave them fruit flies. Oh, okay, you can kind of see some Janets moving about. I gave them fruit flies, so they're actually more active than they usually are. Because they got snackies. Now they're in hunt mode. I watched one of these Janets. I replenished their isopod colony because I have a feeling they were eating the isopods because I haven't been seeing them lately. So I put more in there, and I saw one of the tiniest Janets grab onto a baby isopod and try and eat it, but it was just a little bit too big, and it was still alive, so the Janet bit it like butt first, and then starts like shaking it like a bulldog, smacking it against like the leaf and the acrylic container they're in, and then just slowly eating it while taking a break, shaking its head.
For Mel, hilarious. For the isopod, absolute horror.
Yeah.
Stuff of nightmares, traumatized for life. Possibly dead.
It got eaten.
It got eaten. Dead. Murdered.
I felt so bad for the little isopod, and I'm telling the Janet, like, Janet, just eat it already. Put it out of its misery. Misc stuff, let's put it in there. And
What if I made her hair red? Let's make her hair red.
yeah, that looks like a counter color. I am sleepy. Yeah, unfortunately though, Janet's gotta eat. And let's see. Oh, that's horrifying.
What it?
Random fact. I've seen a cricket just chewing on a leaf while it's being eaten by a tarantula, and it just gives no fucks.
I saw a sunfish just minding its own business while a bunch of, like a shark was basically biting into its head. It was not pretty. But apparently, like, the majority of the sunfish doesn't actually have feeling, doesn't feel anything, and a lot of its body is just not muscle, it's like fat deposit and stuff. So it just didn't care.
So the sunfish is just like, fuck it, end my life in Minecraft. Because if I
Funny
don't...
story, Ellie originally was a redhead, but I realized that it was too similar to Sunstone, so I didn't want to copy. Changed her hair color.
Okay, let's see. I told people in the Discord that I had a story to share about one of my work shifts this weekend.
Oh, that's right. You had an adventure.
Yeah. So, let's see. I had a work shift that was supposed to go until 1 a.m. Surprisingly, we did not stay until 1 a.m. But, oh my goodness. Daylight savings time is kicking my butt, just for the record. So there'll probably be a lot of yawning, and I apologize for that. So let's see. So Saturday, I went in for my work shift, and the party was already going strong. It was for a wedding, and not just any wedding. It was a Latinx wedding. And, so I get there, like, right as the bride and groom are about to make their entrance. And we did not know who the renter was, because, they never showed up for check-in. One of a random, what are they called? A random wedding guest, or like, I guess close enough to the actual renter, was the one who signed in for the event at, I believe it was 1 o'clock when they had their rental start. So they're, my goodness. I'm gonna slap myself just to wake myself up. Cool. Alright. So, where was I? So yeah, they walk in, everybody's rowdy and having a good time, and then, so this place is different than the other rental that I told you guys about last week. So a map for this will be way easier to draw than in the previous place for context. Latinx is like, it's the gender neutral term for Latino and Latina. Okay, so this place has a ballroom right here. This is the stage. And there's doors here, and doors here. And let's let's see if I can remember how to draw this without getting too bogged down by details. Do 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 do. Actually, I think that this is just a wall. Yeah, make that a little too big. Okay. So this is a very bare bones map of this place. So, and I'll put that extends out that way. Okay, that's probably the best I can do without getting super detailed into this. Okay, so yeah, it can be lively. Okay, so this is the place that I worked at. So this is a senior center. So this is where a bunch of old people hang out during the week, and then during the weekends it's rented out for events and stuff. So this is the ballroom. This is typically what people rent out. And then there's like some offices and meeting rooms over here. There's an entire other section of this place that I didn't even bother drawing because during the event, because they only booked the ballroom, they don't even get access to this other side of the facility, which you can only get to by this hallway here, which has double doors that open this way into this entire other section of the building. So how we keep people from going over there is we put a table right here to block these doors, and then technically you can get to this other side by going through the bathrooms because there's two doors that separates or that like leads to this other area. But what we do is when we're going to have an event that they don't have access to this area is we lock those doors so they can't go out this way. So this just, you can just keep in mind that there's an entire other half of this building that plays no part in this story but does get used in other stuff. So if I tell other stories and that I mentions the other half of the building, then you can know that there's a whole other half of this building for future context. So right here is an office door, and that leads into this back office area where all the administrative people work during the week. And this is the info desk. So this is where all the little old people come and sign up for their daily activities and stuff. But in the case of the event that we're working, we sit up here. At least one person is sitting up here, so that we're on hand for if anybody in here needs us. So, unlike the bigger event center that we usually work at, we don't have a glass window or anything. It is just an info desk. So the info desk is just like an open air desk where you can see there's little laptops and stuff here. There's that back doorway and there's a shelf back here. But for the most part, it's a coworker and myself sitting at this info desk. And so, the wedding parties came in through this way and then go into the ballroom where there is a massive bar. They are blasting music. And then later on, the bride and groom come back out this way, and I see people walking in with shiny outfits. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of what I'm talking about before I give away what it is. Because I knew what they were as soon as I saw them.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but... No, don't. Sparkly outfits. Yes. And it was all guys. These guys had more rhinestones on their outfits than I think I've ever seen on any piece of clothing ever. And I cannot even find anything that even comes close to what these guys were wearing. So
We thank you for trying, though.
I tried, because, my God, these guys looked like Latino Liberace. Or is Liberace more Latino?
No.
I don't actually know anything about Liberace. I know that he wears shiny clothing.
And he plays the piano, and he was hilarious.
Yes. So...
And a brilliant piano player. Holy shit. We'll talk about him later.
Yeah. So, it was a mariachi band. And, these guys look like somebody went absolutely nuts on their outfits with a bedazzler. They were wearing black suits, black sparkly suit jackets, leather pants, and had different kinds of instruments. One motherfucker walks in with a tuba. So, normally whenever I've seen mariachi bands, they have, a guitarist, maybe a couple trumpet players, and maybe a drummer. This was a whole-ass marching band. This was a mariachi marching band who was walking in and out of the area. And, I was already getting nervous because the brass instruments had microphones attached to the front of their instruments.
We don't know why. That's their journey.
Yes. So if you're like, how do you know that it was a microphone? One, I was in band for 5 years as I quickly draw out a trumpet. God, I hated playing trumpet. Not because of the instrument, but because the teacher that I had just made playing the trumpet the absolute worst. So anyways, how you can tell it's a microphone is because it's this little black box that sits either on the top or the bottom of the brass, and it points down like this. So it's not just for prettiness. It is for amplification of sound. And so I'm already getting a little concerned because there's now a mariachi band. And so I'm sitting here, I'm sitting in this chair here, and occasionally chatting with my coworker who is sitting here. And we had a third coworker who was sitting in the back because we did not have enough space up front for him to come sit with us. So he just hung out in the back, and we figured we would like swap out if we needed to. And so suddenly all the mariachi band people that were hanging out like in the hallway in the ballroom go out the front doors. And I'm sitting there working on my comics and testing out the new headphones that I got, when suddenly I hear mariachi music blasting. And I'd like to let you know, the bride and groom already did their grand entrance. This was the second grand entrance. So the mariachi band comes toot toot tooting their way through the front doors, blasting their... I don't know if you've ever stood in front of a trumpet when it's blasting full force. It hurts. And we're right in the blast zone. And so I'm going to try to give an accurate count of the instruments that I saw, because they had at least 2 of everything. So there was 2 trumpet players at a minimum, 2 clarinet players, the tuba player. The tuba player was the only one I didn't see 2 of. At least 2, maybe 3 trombone players. Surprisingly, I did not see a guitar player.
Really?
Yeah. It doesn't mean that there wasn't one. I just didn't see one. And so, mariachi band goes marching through this hallway, and if you couldn't tell from this map, this is a small event center. Like, compared to the big one that I drew last week for you guys to see, this one is maybe like a third of the size of the other place. This ballroom is definitely like a fourth of the size of the big place that I'm used to working at. And that bigger place has the advantage of the office space is like behind glass. So I kind of have some soundproofing. But not here. I don't got soundproofing. It is open air. Whatever's playing, you're going to hear it. And so the whole band walks in first, and then the bride and groom come walking in behind them, and then they got more mariachi behind them, and then they go into the ballroom, and these guys are just blasting their music, and they're hooked up to their own speaker system that they brought. And so now the music is twice as loud. I'm wearing headphones, and I had to take them off and put earplugs in because I could not hear whatever I was listening to with my volume on full blast.
Okay, real quick. Biggie Rock sent me a couple of messages here and said, wait until the mariachi band start towing along 10-foot gongs with them.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Then Googled largest mariachi band, and in the first pick on it, one of them had a fucking harp.
Well, there was no harp this time, but there were bongo drums. Bongo drums did make, like, big bongo drums.
Oh yeah, that's to be expected. But a harp? A harp? That's extra.
Like,
That's when something extra is going on.
This whole wedding was extra. Like, quite frankly, I think that there needs to be a like...
An intervention?
There needs to be a live music clause in our contracts. Because this is how loud they were playing. My coworker... Okay, I'm gonna shrink this down. So, my coworker took a break. And So let me see if I can draw. So we have this whole area here, and I'm gonna give like a rough estimate of like how big the additional property is, just to. Okay, so including like all the balconies, or not balconies, the like the kitchen, courtyards, stuff like that. So this is about how big the building is with all that extra stuff. Because like from here to here is just like balconies. Or not balconies. I keep calling them balconies. They're not balconies. Courtyards. And then there's a main road here. And this is the parking lot. And then this is a grocery store parking lot, like right here. And then there's a whole apartment complex across the road this way. So my coworker went out, and let me make this just a tad bit smaller. So this parking lot extends out this way a bit. And then actually, this road, the apartment complex is kind of cut in half, so. So my coworker went out from the office area, walked out this way, and I think she said that she went to like the far corner this way. And you could still hear mariachi music playing. And I can confirm that because I took my lunch break and I went out the same way. I didn't go nearly as far, but I went this way because there's a grocery store over here that I like to go get snackies at. So I was over here in the parking lot and I was still hearing mariachi music blasting. Let me bring my map back up. Cool. So now you understand these are loud. I only have a tolerance for so much loud stuff before my brain starts going into fight, flight, or freeze mode all at the same time. It's not fun. So, even with earplugs in, I'm not doing well. And my coworker can see me kind of like rocking back and forth, not doing okay. And when the mariachi music stopped so they could take a breath and announce their next song, is what I'm assuming they were doing. They were speaking Spanish, and my Spanish is not great. She told me, you don't have to sit out here with me. You can go into the back. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. So I go into the back area with my other coworker, and just chill there. Luckily, they didn't need us too much for anything, so I didn't feel too bad. But my coworker actually was wearing noise-canceling headphones. Smart on her. I'm also going to be reading the emails that they send us a lot more closer, so I can see if there's any mention of wedding, and if any of the and see if any of like the renter information looks even a little bit Hispanic. Just at all. If it even like looks like there's a possibility that there's gonna be a mariachi band there. I'm bringing the gun range earphones because those are meant to block like gunshot noises. I will bring that with me so that I can withstand the mariachi music. So that they got in there at like the mariachi band got there around like 4, I think. That's when that's around the time my shift started. These people's event, like their time for this venue, it was from like 1 p.m. to 12 a.m. And then my shift was supposed to end at 1 a.m. because it's assumed by the time they clean up and leave, I have an hour in between when their reservation ends and when I get to go home, and that hour is spent setting up this ballroom for the next day's event. And so they started playing their music around 4 and did not stop playing until like 11:58 p.m. They needed to be packed up and out of this ballroom by 12 a.m. And at like 11:45 is when somebody comes to ask us, like, hey, so what do we gotta do for cleanup? And by this point, everybody is drunk. And I'm gonna back up slightly to that. So there was one kind of cute moment where this table right here, we ended up turning that into a coloring table for a bunch of the kids because the parents were all partying and getting drunk, and the kids were running around like crazy. At one point during the day, somebody came to the front desk to tell us that the men's bathroom, which is over here, was flooded and bubbles everywhere. So our only guy coworker goes to check it out, and he tells us what he saw was a bunch of young boys. They somehow broke the automatic soap dispensers so that they would not stop spitting out foam soap. And these kids had just covered the floor in foam soap and water, having their own little, like, foam party in the men's bathroom. So, my coworkers are, like, calling maintenance, trying to figure out how to get these things to stop pumping out soap. And eventually, my coworker, he takes apart the soap dispenser and removes the soap component so that it just stops spouting soap everywhere. And so my other coworker, let's see, I'm gonna call the first coworker M, and I'm gonna call the second coworker J. So M is in the janitor closet trying to find a mop or something to help clean up the mess. And my coworker Jay is out in the ballroom trying to hunt down a parent. And she manages to find one and tells her, like, hey, so there's a bunch of unattended boys in the men's room, flooding the men's room and playing around in there. I need somebody to go in there and get them out. And so she's like, on it. And she gets her husband. Dude is dressed in a cowboy hat and jeans and and like a tuxedo jacket.
In other words, reliable.
So he goes in and gets the kids out of there. And so later on, let's see, where was I? Let me pull my map back up so I can explain. I'm gonna switch to red for the children's stuff. So also, they had a table right here with a guest book, and they had one of those little film cameras so people could take pictures of themselves to put in the little book and just write a little message. Super cute. Loved the idea. The children got a hold of the camera and are running around and, like, taking pictures until they used all of the film. I would like to also add, this was also unattended. There were no adults there to make sure that nobody used the camera for anything other than taking like one picture.
For evil. It was used for evil.
Yeah. And so these kids are running around, and like even when they're out of film, they're still trying to get the camera to work, and the camera has a flash on it. So every like minute I would see a flash go off.
Was this a disposable camera?
No.
Oh.
This was one of those Fuji cameras. Like the
Yeah.
Instax, that's what they're called.
Not expensive, but not cheap.
No, they're minimum like $80. Fuji Instax. For anybody who might be confused, I'm pulling up a reference picture. Oh, perfect. There's the exact one that they had at the wedding. So it's a little camera. You put the film in here, and when you take a picture, the little film pops up here, and then it develops right there, and then you got this cute little picture that you can do stuff with. Really cool. I plan on hopefully maybe getting one for Christmas, just because I'm glad to see that film cameras are making a comeback. I missed my old Polaroid camera I used to have as a kid. So yeah, so the kids are left unattended. They are running up and down the hallways through these doors. They are chasing each other. There's kids falling in the hallway, running in and out of the bathrooms. Not a parent to be found. And so eventually, like there was this cute little girl who kept like looking up over the desk at us, and like I'd wave at her. And I had some paper near me, so like I would just start doing like little drawings whenever she came over and popped her head over the desk. And then she would duck out of the way and do something else, and then come back, and I would have another little drawing that I had just done. And kept that going for a bit, and she was just mesmerized. And so then my coworker Jay gets up, and she goes out to her car and comes back with a box of crayons, and just puts a box of crayons out. And then she actually has access to these computers because she works at the senior center Monday through Friday. So she goes on the computer and she starts printing out coloring pages. Well, I saw that she had crayons, and I'd put some blank paper out there. And so a couple of the kids came over and started, like, coloring. And then I just start whipping out, like, ink drawings. There's a Sharpie there, I had blank paper, and I can usually bust out a drawing in under a minute. So, like, I'm throwing out, like, elf princesses, a dragon. It was mostly elf princesses. And then, at one point, my coworker's like, well, while the human printer is working, why don't you guys tell me your favorite animals? And so the kids start listing out their favorite animals, and she is printing out sheets, going in the back, and bringing them out for the kids to color and stuff. And so that was pretty cute, having them just hang out there. So that's why the next day I was asking you and Lee if you guys knew where my my nibbling box was, because I was thinking, like, dang, my friends aren't bringing their kids over to visit. I might as well just keep that cool box of colored pencils, crayons, paints, and glue and other fun stuff in my car, so that I can be the boredom breaker at the whenever I'm doing events like this, where the adults are in here just getting absolutely just ravaged, and their children are running amok.
I think they're in the workshop under the metal desk.
I'll have to go look for that for my next round of stuff this weekend, because I think we have another wedding coming up. I don't know if it's a kid free or not, but the weekend before that we had a wedding where again, the adults were doing their own thing, and the kids were kind of left to their own devices. And they were out in the hallway And they were making paper airplanes. So I started making paper airplanes, and then I'd walk out into the hall and I'd start throwing them towards the kids, because they were making like the paper airplanes that you would normally think of, where it's like that. But I was making a different kind of paper airplane where like it flew a little better and a little further. So I was making like 2 or 3 different kinds of paper airplanes and just chucking them out into the hallway with the kids, and they would see them fly super smooth and do like loops and stuff. Like, whoa, look at that! And start playing with those. So anyway, so while the parents and everything are getting smashed, the children, mostly girls, but a couple of boys would show up and look at what they're doing, are just hanging out over here, coloring pictures, and eventually, like, I would see a couple of them go in to the ballroom where the music was pumping, and come back out without their drawings and stuff. So I guess they were going in there, showing their parents, or just leaving them at their table. Occasionally they would come in looking less than satisfied, which what's the word I'm looking for? My headcanon is they went in there to show their parents, and their parents were just too drunk to really pay attention, so they came back out here where we would tell them, like, it looks nice. And so, let's see. So yeah, we've become babysitters, and then it gets to about 11, and usually around 11 o'clock, that's when people start checking in with us to be like, okay, so we have an hour until our rental is done. What do we need to have done and cleaned up before we leave? That was not the case with these people. They didn't come check in. One person didn't even come check in with us until about like 11:45. I would like to remind you, their rental ended at midnight, and so mariachi band still going strong. I actually found this really cool website that teaches you how to make a bunch of different paper airplanes. Let me see if I can find it. Airplane instructions. Let me see if I can find that website that I used. Oh, here we go. It's called Fold and Fly. I'm gonna drop it in the chat box, because there were some, damn it, really cool ones. No, I don't want to edit it. I want to... Yeah, there we go. Take me to the place where I can... There we go. It's a neat little website. It gives you, like, the step-by-step instructions, but it also has a video of somebody actually doing the folds. So I would read the instructions and then play the video. And I'm going to change my screen capture so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because why not? It's not a Mel stream unless I get terribly distracted. So yeah, which one did I do for the kids? No, I didn't do that one. Oh, I think this is the one that I did initially. But yeah, like, it does step by step how to do everything. And then if you're still confused, they have a video guide, and then they also have downloads, so you can actually print out the instructions or, like, the piece of paper with the folds on both sides, so you can fold it correctly. So yeah, foldandfly.com. 10/10 recommend if you need to make a bunch of paper airplanes for bored children this upcoming holiday season. And let me bring back my drawing window. Huh! That is weird. Okay, well then you'll just have to click the link. Oh, and I am on the wrong layer too, so... So yeah. And these people, by the time they're starting to leave, the children are starting to leave with their parents around like 11:30. And so they're leaving, and there is not a sober person to be seen. I saw a bridesmaid, a very beautifully dressed bridesmaid, being carried out. Like that drunk person carry out where you have... She was wearing this, like, this... So the theme was everybody had to wear black. So she's got her pretty black dress on, and she's got like 2 different people helping carry her out. And about that point is when I start getting concerned. And so, so they're leaving like that, and eventually my coworker and I are standing at this front desk, or both my coworkers and I are standing at that front desk, and we're the mariachi music kept like playing, and they would like up the tempo, and then you'd think that that's where they're gonna finish the song, and then they would start another what's the word I'm looking for? Not chorus, but like they would start another section of the song, and it would keep building up, and then you would think that it's going to end, and then it would start building up again. And so we're just standing there like, okay, surely they're going to be done now. And then they would start another song. And so by this point, my coworkers and I are all just standing at this desk, looking towards the ballroom like, okay, surely they have to stop now. It is 11:55, like, people have got to start cleaning up now, right? Nope, mariachi band is still playing. So it is 12 o'clock by this point, and we need to start cleaning up that room. The decorators have already been there for an hour, taking stuff down. They brought the chairs, so they're taking chairs away as people are standing up to go do other stuff. And, so it was the decorators, and then, like, band members. People that were there to help the band show up with the van, and they're taking sound equipment away. And one by one, mariachi band members would leave, but the mariachi band is still going strong. Just maybe one less trumpet. But they can't stop, won't stop. They are mariachiing their little hearts away. And so we're in there starting to clean up, and they're blocking a door that we need to access to put tables away. So my coworker Jay has to go past them and tell them like, hey, yeah, so we're trying to clean up. I need you guys to like get away from this door so I can access it. And then people start cleaning up. And so there's maybe like 15 to 20 drunk off their ass people trying to clean this hall. And why I make such a big deal about the rental time being up at 1 or at 12 is because our contracts stipulate that if you go past the time that you have booked the space for, you get charged double the hourly rate. So these people they definitely already lost their
Deposit.
the deposit. They definitely lost their deposit because of the bathroom stuff. Like, I don't even know how they would get, like, it was something like a $700 deposit. So I don't even know how much they would even get back for breaking soap dispensers and flooding the bathroom. Like, that just seems like, no, you're not getting that back. But really, that part's up to my boss. I just set up the tables and take them down. And so, the hourly rate for that location is like $500 an hour. So these people are now working on, like, we've already gotten to the point where they lost the $700 deposit, and now they're getting charged $1,000 because they didn't start cleaning up until their rental time was over. And I'm pretty sure they were too drunk to realize that they had gotten to that point. And, like, the bride had to be carried out to the front of the building to get some fresh air by her it looked to be her mother and maybe her, like, sister or best friend. And my coworker was talking to her at one point because she asked she'd asked my coworker, like, "Are we done yet?" And my coworker's like, not quite yet. People are still sweeping the hall." And it's like, "No, I mean with the kitchen. Like, you're not in the kitchen." And she was out front and just, I don't think she knew where she was for a minute. And so oh man, I didn't even stress the scariest part. So the scariest part of the whole thing was when we walked in there, the floor was disgusting. Like, there were table placement cards everywhere, food on the ground, a couple of beer spaces. I did not know that it was possible to fill up 3 full-size garbage cans of beer cans, but they did.
Now.
They did. So
You were educated.
yeah, I was educated to the amount of alcohol people are capable of drinking, cause whoo. So yeah, no, like, I don't know what that pen is, but I'm gonna stick with it for now. So yeah, we had like these kitchen garbage cans, which are on wheels. So these were overflowing with cans like this high up. Quite honestly, I was afraid if we moved this entire top layer of beer cans was going to come crashing to the ground. And then they had these even bigger barrel cans that were also filled to the top with beer cans, and they had these little, like, plastic cups that had little light things in them, because some of these drinks had, like, little, like, light ice cubes. And so not only is the garbage can just absolutely full,
It's also glowing.
yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get this to do what I want, but I can't remember where I put my, oh, I think it's here. that was the wrong layer. So yeah, not only is this thing full of garbage, but it is also now like a disco. Just like disco sparkles everywhere. And we also have these, because it's an old person hangout place. So our walls and stuff have these like middle moldings on all the walls. There's a lot of picture frames in there, so this is my half-assed attempt at picture frames. So I'm talking about these things here. So it looks like molding, but if you look closer, it's like molding guardrails. So there's these little divots so that if there's an old person walking down the hall and they need extra support, they can grab onto this railing here for extra support. Yeah. So this entire area right here, these little moldings, beer cans everywhere, leaning on them, cups tucked in between, like as close in between as possible. I have a personal hatred of, what is that stuff called? The Tahine? I think it's Tahine. I'm gonna look it up. Tahine. Yeah, this stuff. I have a personal hatred of Tahine now thanks to this job because there was a quinceañera that happened like the first weekend that I started at this job, and they were making these drinks with Tahine, which is this stuff if you are not familiar with it. So they're making drinks and putting this stuff on it, and they got this Tahine drink. Excuse me.
Bless you.
They got this stuff all over the bar. I spent an hour afterwards cleaning, like deep cleaning the bar to get that stuff off. And they now had that Tahine stuff all over the floors. Also on the floor was, I had been talking to my coworker and was like, how the fuck are these people not deaf with how loud this music is? Because we weren't even in the ballroom and we were going deaf. But found the answer because we were walking in there, and on the dirty floors they had all of these used blue ear plug pieces just all over the ground. Like, there were spills everywhere. We were moving tables out of the way, and there were shoes under the table. And the bride and the groom, when we were still taking stuff down, it's like 12:20, and their friends are using push brooms and sweeping up and everything. Like, the bride and groom are still arm in arm, like, slow dancing to mariachi music on the other side of the ballroom. So eventually, we get these people out of there at 12:30, and I will say this. As dirty as the place was when we walked in there, these drunk people did a great job at cleaning up. Like, no notes. They did pretty good. Okay, some notes. They missed some beer cans on the stage, but I got those. And I had one interesting encounter with, this guy had to have been the father of the bride. He gave off that air of, like, father of the bride or favorite uncle. So he sees me rolling these tables. So these tables are a little bit smaller than the ones at the other job. So I'm able to like roll them pretty effectively, pretty quickly. It's a really bad drawing of me. So this guy saw me and my coworkers rolling these tables out of the way, and he decided that he wanted to help too. So he was rolling the table, but he was rolling the table with the legs sticking out, and he was inebriated. So he is drunk, trying to move a table. And this guy was like balding but had like little flecks of hair. So he's trying his damnedest to move these tables, or to move this table, to help us out, and is just kind of failing miserably. So I go over to help him, and I'm like, "Oh, sir, you don't have to worry about that. I got it." And he's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine." And so I get the table, and he's still holding on to the table, even though I told him it was okay. So I tried to close the table while he's still holding it, but it made it really awkward. So I'm trying to close these table legs. You have to close them a certain way, and so with him, he was wearing like a, I almost called it a cumberbatch.
Cummerbund?
Yeah, that thing. So, in order to get this top legs closed, because he was helping with quotes around them. I had gotten it closed just enough to where while I'm trying to steady the table, I just used my head to push the legs back into place, because it's two legs connected by bars. So I used my head to push the legs into place, and I don't know exactly what he said, but he kind of drunkenly mumbled something cabeza, and cabeza means head. I understand that much Spanish. So he said something in regards to me using my head.
That's using your head.
Yeah, something like that, or I don't know, he might have been calling me hard-headed for all I know. So yeah, they cleaned up and got out of there, and by the time we left, a couple of them were still out front waiting for somebody to pick them up. So yeah, from that whole experience, I was just horrified that the mariachi band was still playing. Like, they could have ended. They could have ended at 11 like everybody else and just left. But no, they stayed partying until we basically had to tell them, like, get out. But it cracked me up, because one band member would leave, and then another one would leave, and they would still have mariachi band playing, but there'd just be one less instrument. So yeah, I have a fear of mariachi bands now, just because of how dedicated to the music this band was. Just, yeah, no words. I think I made my case.
And that is your brave story.
And that is my brave story. Yeah. I'm horrified by how messy and disgusting that ballroom got. I was horrified by just the levels of wasted that I saw, and horrified by the amount of money that these people were losing for a wedding at a senior center. I'd like to add also, the people getting married were not old. Like, when I say it was at a senior center, these were not senior citizens that were getting married. They looked possibly younger than me.
It was just a wedding.
They just booked the senior center. So yeah. Don't fuck with mariachi bands. They are on a whole new level that none of us can comprehend. Oh yeah, I walked out of that job with tinnitus, and actually, not even like tinnitus. I walked out of there with like low levels
Radiation poisoning.
Not like PTSD, because loud noises. I do not do well with loud noises. So the next day, I was working at that same place. Only this time, so this was yesterday. Yesterday I was working there, and I thought it was a Girl Scout banquet, but I misread banquet. It was boutique, so it was just a bunch of Girl Scouts selling handcrafted items that they had made, which I actually ended up buying some stuff from them, because...
That's cool.
Yeah, I'll have to show you them. They made these, one of the Girl Scouts made earrings out of paper, and so they had, like, little origami koi earrings. So I grabbed a pair of those for Lee, and then they had a pretty pair of, these, like, blue earrings, but, they're paper. They didn't seal them with anything, so, I'm gonna use some sealant on them so that the paper doesn't just disintegrate at the first sign of,
Trouble.
Moisture. But that event was way more low-key. Also, the Girl Scouts were very polite. And... where is that thing here? Oh, right, there's a reflection. Okay. Okay, so it depends on the Girl Scout event, as Tim has warned me. Not because of the Girl Scouts, because if it's like a Girl Scout like dinner or something,
it can be because of the Girl Scouts, but usually it's
the moms.
It's packs, but yeah, usually it's the moms. Boy Scouts, it is definitely the boys, and it's usually because the parents are just oblivious.
Mm-hmm. My child could do no wrong.
My child's a Boy Scout. Yes, your child's a Boy Scout, not because he's trustworthy, loyal, hopeful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, reverent. It's because he's not those things, and you really need to get him into a group where he would learn those things.
Tim seems very, that seems very touchy for you. Tim has done some Boy Scout events, so. Actually, there we go. Tim, why don't you share a Boy Scout event or Girl Scout event story?
Oh my god.
I had to relive the mariachi band.
Okay. So I'm doing this event. I'll tell you about the last scouting event I did. No, wait. There's so many. Okay. So I was doing this one, and it's on it's at a school. It's at a middle school, and every middle school has that cafeteria stage that's just a little higher than it needs to be.
It's the multi-purpose room.
The multi-purpose room, and the stage is like 4 feet off the ground. It's way bigger, higher than it needs to be, but that seems to be standard issue for middle schools. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm working this gig, and I'm doing a magic show, and I'm doing the magic show out of these these two trunks that I have. And the trunks stack on top of each other to form a table. I put a table skirt around it and stuff, and it works quite well. It's very utilitarian. It's very well designed. I'm very happy with this thing. It's been all over the place with me. I love it.
It's his favorite pair of boxes.
It is my favorite pair of boxes, and I am kind of obsessed with boxes. I love boxes. Hey, Co32, thanks for stopping in. I'm just about to tell a horror story about doing a magic show.
You missed the mariachi band horror story.
Oh, man. So, I'm doing the thing, doing the show, and it's going pretty good. And the thing that you do before you start the show is you always put down tape lines. Lines on the ground that the kids do not cross. Very, very important. And sometimes, if it's a good group, you don't need to worry about that because middle school auditorium will already have lines on the floor, and the kids notice it behind the red line, or the yellow line, the blue line. And that's the case here. But there's always going to be a couple of kids that scoot forward and get really close to the stage, and you try to keep that from happening. And there's a couple of kids that are doing that, but it's not enough of a problem for me to address or anything like that. And I've got the parents are doing their job. You've got scoutmasters on each side of the stage checking on the kids and everything. So the two trunks that are locked together, stacked together, and they're wrapped with a table skirt and makes a nice table, has wheels. It's on casters. And it's not locked because I move it around the stage while I'm working. And then I invite a kid up on stage, and it's like you're looking for that kid that's like the right combination of enthusiastic but not too enthusiastic. Excited but not too excited. Gotta strike that balance. I find that kid and I invite him up on stage. And he's walking up on stage and he's all excited and everything. Everybody's clapping and stuff. And he comes walking up, he goes around the side, comes up the stairs, comes walking toward me, and I go over and I hold out my hand to shake his hand. And he walks right past me, gets behind my table, and starts pushing it to the edge of the stage. Like he's going to push my table off the stage.
Dead children.
Yeah. Now, there are enough children that have pushed themselves forward that this thing is going to land on a child. This thing weighs 40 pounds when it's empty. It is fully loaded with props. So it doesn't weigh 100 pounds, but it's pretty close. And it's made of really solid, it's metal and plastic, like that I don't know what that vinyl, hard vinyl is, hard vinyl. And they are pushing it toward the edge of the stage. This is the kind of, it's like a road case. It's what you put sound equipment in.
It's what roadies use.
Yeah, what roadies use. And I go running over as this thing is going over the edge, and I grab it by the handle. There's a handle that I grab, and I'm amazed I didn't tear off a fingernail. Grab this thing and yank it back up onto the stage as he goes running off, smiling and laughing, just happy as a clam as he runs into the crowd. And I see a couple of scoutmasters run after him. And I'm trying to keep as good of a face as I can. Okay, we're going to keep the show going. And just like my heart is racing about 300 miles an hour because a couple of kids almost got murdered.
That kid's probably shilling crypto now.
Yeah, because that thing would have... If it had gone over, there'd be kids in the hospital. And so that was one. What was another one? Oh, God. I did the San Francisco Scoutorama.
Well, that already sounds horrible.
Yeah. It's basically the big jamboree. It's the Scout Jamboree and on Treasure Island in San Francisco. It's a big thing. Happens... is it every year or every few years? I think it happens every year. I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm the entertainment for it, and I go out to do this thing. And I got tipped big time for this. I do a trick with a piece of rope. And after I've done the trick with the rope, I toss the rope into the audience. And, I don't throw it deep into the crowd. There's like a lot of kids at this thing. I don't know how many. A couple hundred. It's outdoors. And I toss it into the front row for somebody to examine. And I fully expect that it's going to take a couple of minutes, but it's like I'm waiting to get the rope back, and I say, got the rope? Okay, toss it up here to me on the count of 3. And I always say count of 3 after they've tossed the rope. That way the rope hits me as I'm saying on the count of 3. Gets a big laugh. So
It is pretty funny.
yeah. I was like, okay, take the rope, toss it to me. Some kid in the crowd had a piece of hemp rope. You know that not, and it wasn't like treated or anything like that. It wasn't that kind of party. It was sharp. It had all the little pieces sticking out of it. It was not a fun piece of rope.
Oh no.
And they had knotted and tied it into a ball. Not like a perfect ball, just like they had like tied as many knots into it as they could. So now it's a ball.
I haven't heard this story.
And and when I said toss me the rope, this kid took the ball and threw it, and he hit me square in the eye.
Oh shit.
Yes. And the show stopped. It stopped. I have never stopped a show before like that. I just stopped the show and took a couple minutes, got my eye cleaned up and everything. It was fine, and it hurt. Where'd he get that? He just had it. You know, there's a bunch of scouts. It's outside at a big camporee event, so he just had it. And
I have some comments on that after you're done.
And then went back out, did the rest of my act, got out of there, and I got tipped a couple $100.
Justified.
Yeah, I think I got tipped at $300. It was a ridiculous tip. It's like, please don't sue us. It's like, I'm not gonna sue you. It's fine. Thank you for the tip. And never did that event again. I think that was my last. I don't think that was the last Scout event that I did, but that was one of the last Scout events I did.
There's an upcharge for Scout events now, I would assume.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of doing Scout events.
So, well, first I want to know, with that first kid, like, was there any repercussions that you were able to observe?
I don't.
Like, did anybody chase after
him?
They
chased after him, but I don't know what happened. And honestly, I at the time it was like I just wanted to get out of there afterwards. With Scout shows, and this is just sort of like after a Scout show, I just want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to stick around. I don't want to answer questions. I don't want to hang out and meet the kids. I just want to get out of there. Just pay me so I can leave. Which is unfortunate, you know. I'd like to be able to like. It's like, oh yeah, let's stick around. If kids have questions or anything, you guys want to hang out and chat a little bit, totally open to that. No, I'm after Scout shows. It's like I don't stick around. I don't chat with anybody. I pack up my stuff and I get out.
Okay, and for comparison, like Tim, when I was working for the city of Vacaville doing their after-school program, I was I was a site lead at one point, so I was in charge of a site at a school, and I had very, very strict rules when it came to people coming to our classroom for any kind of events and stuff like that.
Oh my God! Yes.
So I had a couple of kids who were super into magic. And so I had told them, like, oh, one of my best friends is a magician. I'll see if maybe I can get him to come in and do a little show for you guys. But I'm only going to do that if you guys are on your absolute best behavior. And you got to show me that first before I even contact him. So they had a series of behavioral goals that they had to meet before I even messaged you about coming to my site to meet these kids and do a show for them. And they did. I was very proud of them. They were excellent, and there was a couple of days where like I could not be there because I had some other obligations. So I had substitutes, and they said that they did good. And usually when the main person is gone, that's when they start acting up. But no, these kids did great. And so I reached out to Tim, and him and his wifey were living in Sacramento at the time. or I think you guys were living in Sacramento at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were living in Sacramento at the time. So I had asked Tim, like, hey, it could, like, would you be...
This was right before the Hell House.
Right. Okay, yeah. So I had sent him a message and was just like, hey, so I know you do magician-y stuff and sometimes you do school visits. My kids I got a couple of kids who are really interested into magic, and I was thinking that maybe you could come and do a little show for them, and just let me know what you want for compensation. Maybe I can take you and Lee out to lunch or something. And dude agreed. So I was like, okay, cool. And I think I had asked you specifically if there was anything that, like, me or the kids needed to be aware of. But, like I said, strict rules when I have anybody doing any kind of, like, visit or educational thing with the kids. And biggest thing is they're not to have anything in their hands. They're not having any books. They're not doing any kind of drawing. They don't have any stuffed animals or anything. They need to be...
snacks, no nothing.
No, they need to be sitting and focused on what is going on. And part of the reason is because I don't trust any kid to not keep things in their hands. So when you said that kid had a ball of untreated hemp rope that he had in a ball and just chucked at you, first thing I thought in my head was, Scout leaders didn't make sure that everybody was sitting down and paying attention with no distractions.
That would have been impossible. There were literally hundreds of kids. This was outside, amphitheater stage, no seats. It went back. This was a huge crowd. Like, so patrol will usually have a dozen members, and a troop is made up of maybe a dozen patrols. There were about 100 troops at this event.
But they each had troop leaders, and I'm assuming like patrol leaders. They basically had people who were in charge of getting them to the place.
Yeah, patrol leaders are kids, so they're kind of useless.
Okay, so ignoring the patrol leaders.
It was an extreme situation. Yeah, there was no way. Yeah, there was no way that was going to happen.
Well, because we've also done like camp events where we had multiple camps come together.
I am telling you, there is no way. And remember, these are teenagers.
Oh, no, that part wasn't.
Okay,
wasn't
I didn't make clear. These were teenagers.
Yeah, no, because mostly what I worked with was K through 6, and even when we did big events like that, where we would have people sitting around a stage or something, they're very rare, but they did happen. There were people who were in charge of their smaller groups, and then there were people above them that was in charge. So the people at the smaller group, it was their job. It's their job to make sure that everybody knows the rules, follows the rules, and they're in charge of making sure that everybody does not have, like, distracting items in their hands. And it's their job to keep an eye on those groups, and if they see something that somebody may have snuck in, it's up to them to grab the item. And I was real strict about that. So, because I have seen people who weren't strict about it, and what happens from it. They throw things.
Oh, yeah.
So, so Tim comes to my site, and he did the thing for the kids. I had to get on a couple of kids about, like, remember what I said, we don't, I had, for you in particular, Tim, I had told them, like, because one of them kept bringing up the Masked Magician.
Oh, the Masked Magician.
Yeah, and, like, I watched the Masked Magician as a kid. So this kid had recently found the Masked Magician, and he's like, oh, I saw that on Masked Magician. And I was like, okay, so here's the thing. Real magicians do not like the Masked Magician, and it would be very impolite for you to see a trick that this magician does and say, like, oh, I saw how that's done on the Masked Magician. So don't do that. Like, that kid specifically got told not to do that, because I had insider knowledge on that. But, so yeah, the only thing that went quote-unquote bad, and even then, it wasn't, like, the worst possible thing that could happen. But what happened was, Tim does this trick where he has an invisible deck of cards, and he, quote-unquote, like, throws it around the room, and having people pick out, like, a suit, and all this different stuff. And so, the last kid who has the deck of cards, he has them put it in a paper bag. And so when the kids are like, they're playing along with it. Like, nobody actually has a deck of cards.
Yeah, it's funny.
They're pantomiming it. They're pretending to hold a deck of cards and to, like, open and close the box and stuff.
It's a trick with nothing.
It's a trick with nothing. And so what happens is Tim holds out a paper bag and tells the kid to put the invisible deck of cards in the bag. And so when this kid does it, a deck of cards falls into the bag. Like, you hear the deck of cards fall into the bag. And it scared the shit out of one of my 6th graders. He fell backwards out of his chair, scrambled to get on his feet, and ran out the door. And I had to chase after this kid, I don't even remember that kid's name anymore, being like, Brett, get back in here! And so the whole thing got paused for a brief minute because everybody was so stunned by a deck of cards showing up in this bag. And
you know what?
I lost control of the classroom for like 20 seconds.
If that's the worst thing that happens, that's a good show.
Yeah.
That's a good crazy thing to have happen.
It was so funny watching that kid fall out of Chris. That kid's name was Chris. He fell out of his chair and ran. Like, this kid was big for a 6th grader. Like, he looked more like an 8th grader, but he was a 6th grader, and he was one of those punk ass kids. Like, he would talk back and try to do stuff, but for the most part, me and him had a rapport, so he wasn't too much of a shit to me. But yeah, just be chasing after Chris. Chris, get back in the classroom.
Come on, Chris, why are you making me work hard?
Yeah, and like that one, you didn't leave like right away, but
No, I seem to recall I answered a few questions and stuff.
Yeah, and right, because I told the kids, I told them a couple rules. I was like, you can ask questions. We're not telling stories, so you don't need to talk about how your cousin's sister's brother is a magician or likes to do card tricks. And we're not pointing out how he did stuff. That's just rude. And yeah, so it was a good little event.
Yeah, that was a great event. And I was like, oh yeah, I would I would do a thing for your group anytime, whenever you want. This was great.
And then a couple months later,
and by then that we were at the
roommates.
We were roommates at that point.
Because you guys were like, oh shit, Vacaville? Mel lives in Vacaville? Let's just kidnap her and have her live with us.
Yeah. So Mel invites me over to, excuse me, not Mel. I can't remember her name at this point. I just don't think about her anymore.
Shitty roommate.
Our shitty roommate.
Also managed a site.
Managed a site and asked me if I would go in and do a show. And it's like, oh, I've done shows for these groups before. I'd be happy to. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it's just like Mel's group.
Yeah. It was not just like Mel's group.
My group was, I think we had 12 kids that day.
Yeah.
12 to 20 kids maximum.
So I showed up ready for 12 to 20 kids maximum. There were a lot of kids. I don't know how many. 80. 80? Yeah, that sounds about right.
That was the maximum, and that site had the maximum every day.
Yeah, they had 80 kids. I was not prepared for 80 kids. I was not warned about that. And that partly falls on me. I didn't ask enough questions. I made assumptions. I also wasn't warned. And
I didn't even know that you were going there to do a thing. I would have warned you.
Yeah. And I don't remember a lot of other. Well, I didn't get any support from the people that were working there except for one guy. I can't remember his name, but he was awesome, and I wish him well. Whatever his name was, he was the only one that was helping out the guest performer.
It started with a T. It was something like Tyrone or Tyrell.
Yeah, something like that, and he was great.
Yeah, he was fun to work with.
And the other thing that killed me was that it was like, okay, we have a magician today, and if you want to do something else, you can go over there and do something else. And so everybody's attention is split, and I got a bunch of kids in front of me, and I got a bunch of kids that are just running around all over the place. 'Twas not good. 'Twas not good. And yeah, it was not a good experience. I did not do. I did the best job that I could, and it was rough, man. It was a rough one. Just did what I could.
I found out about it after he came back, and I felt so bad because I was like, if I had known that you had talked to Dipshit about doing a show at her location, I would have told you straight up, it is not the same as my place. They are routinely understaffed, and that site in particular was one of the sites that had a really bad reputation.
I understand why, too. Yeah, on a bad reputation.
Where the dick
yeah.
is that?
Did not have a good experience. I will not be recommending them. I'll recommend your group everywhere. Your group was great.
I have very strict rules for my groups. And I had a specific brush that I'm trying to find. And I am struggle bussing, which leads me to believe I have too many damn brushes now.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. Hey, I have a drink here. Sweet.
I think I found it. Maybe. There we go. I just wanted to add some soap bubbles without too much effort.
I feel like I added a little shading here. Oops, wrong color.
Ooh, snacky break? Actually, a snacky break sounds kind of nice. It is 8:09. I'm going to take a quick snacky break.
Alright.
And then I'll be back to finish the stream. Tim, how many coins in the wrong layer jar today?
3, I think.
3.
Yeah, I did relatively good today. And I'm still going.
I would need to do every time Mel gets distracted jar. Saving. Okay. Okay. Break time. Hey, where'd my Janets go? I want to see one's butt. Alrighty, I am back. And I think all I have left at this point is to do some stuff with Ian's hat. And then I am free from the burden of this page.
Ooh.
Well, not that free. I got a shade, but
I've discovered a new tool.
like asp.
Oh man, this is much easier than what I was doing before.
What were you doing before?
Making focus lines and stuff like that, and speed lines. This does it automatically.
Bye, Rosen.
Hello, kitty.
He's like, I'm starving. That's starving Tatsu. Hi, Dingus.
Yeah, I'm not entirely clear on how these work. How these work just yet. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, Tatsu is always empty tum tum.
Always. Overdoing it with these speed lines, but what the heck, let's play with this. Barcode erotica, yes.
Barcode erotica.
That's what it looks like.
Hi, Tatsu. Will you forever have an empty tum tum? Are you a void? Okay. Let's
Yeah, I think using the light lines was the way to go. Let's try that again.
Oh, that was not what I wanted, but I made this bathroom gay. I didn't mean to. You know, I don't need it. Okay. Let me fix this bitch. Boop. Ba-doop. And ba-doop. Oh, damn it. Oh, wait, no, that was... No, that was wrong. I don't know what the fuck I'm a-doing, but I'm doing my best. No. Let's erase that a little bit. Yeah. Hmm. Let's try that again. Oh, still set on eraser. Damn it. And and duplicate. Why you no do the thing I want you to do. Sure, let's go with that. Let's polyline this bitch.
Yeah, I just went back to doing it manually. It worked better. Because I don't need a lot, I just need a few. Well, that kind of gives me an idea just now.
Yeah, there we go. Oh boy, almost the thing time.
Almost the thing time. We're gonna watch the thing tonight. Be great. That's actually an interesting effect. perfect. There's something to it.
I think I like Ian's reflection. Over the window shine. And let's make Ian a little lighter. Oh, that's erase again. Damn it. Yeah, there we go. What? Why are you so sad, huh? Baby! No, saturation's wrong. Baby boy. Don't you see that we are working? Don't you see that we are working? You have 20 minutes. Let's see, give him a little. That's too much blur. Yeah, that looks like just enough blur to be. Alright, reselect. Let's add some overlay. Baby!
Meow indeed, kitty. Meow indeed.
Such language from such a small cat. Alright, let's change that to acting like he's still growing. Let's do Afterglow. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh, maybe I should. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I think we should have popcorn.
Do we have popcorn?
We should. Lord knows we bought a metric fuck ton of the kernels. Those walls look a little too... They look a little too clean.
Okay, it's just about done here.
Oh wait, I think I got some new. What are all my shiny new things?
Okay, since this takes place at night, as much as I like the white lines, the black lines might work better. Darken that panel up just a little bit.
Sure, I'll go hatching for now. Hold my... Oh. Oh. Well, that's useless. Oh, Jesus Christ. Maybe inking? Oh, that looks better. Okay. Erase that a little bit. Tatsu, I swear you are not starving. How do you know, Monty? Let's do... I just want to add some character. Because this bathroom looks too clean. "15 minutes to go." Dirt. I'll make it look more shiny.
Hey, I'll catch you later, Code 32. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you like my little animated character. I'm very excited to have a little
dude.
Little dude.
Just a little guy.
A little guy.
Oh.
It's me.
It's a me.
It's a me, a
Tim.
Mario.
It's a me, a Timothy.
It's a me, a Timothy. A Timothy.
A Timothy.
Timmy!
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 Well, yay, I guess I can start shading now.
Thanks for stopping by, Biggie Rock. Have a fantastic evening.
Control.
Sleep well.
Save.
I'm going to have this post up on Patreon tomorrow. I'm so excited.
I don't know either, Tatsu.
I think I'll do a couple little color adjustments here.
Little man. I think it's this one. see if there was anything else. I'm gonna take a break from there and color some Ian here. Oh, I did not color him yet. Well, shoot. I'll do that for the next 13 minutes. I still love that grump face. Night Cubed. Lee is not anywhere to be meowed at tonight. She is visiting her parents for a craft camp. As in, she brought a ton of crafts to work on while she camps out at her parents' house. So, me and Tim get to bro out for a couple days.
Yeah.
Which is mostly going to consist of us sitting at our respective desks, just doing our own things, and then maybe watching a movie at night.
Tonight we're gonna watch The Thing. You getting comfy back there? You getting comfy back there?
Is it Tatsu or is it...
That is a Riley.
Oh. Should have known by the paper crunching. Actually, I need to... Tatsu. My boy. My sweet little mans. Chungus Supreme. You got 10 minutes. I'm getting to the fun part of this sequence with Tucker, where Ian gets to make him wish he didn't come to the library that day. My boy.
Hey, Drail251 Art. Can I call you Drail? Or is it Drake? Are my glasses off? No, Drail. Thank you very much. I'm very excited about my little PNG tuber character. It was so fun to make. And fun to figure out how to do. It was not that difficult.
Yeah, for once Tim taught me something.
Yeah, it was not that difficult to do, and I'm looking forward to playing with it more.
Well, I know there's more stuff you can do with it, like you can make it sway and move a little differently depending on the program you're using. Daddy, I'm stalling.
I know you're starving to do.
Daddy, Monty's ignoring me. She's not making my food.
Yeah, fortunately, like the software's out there, somebody's already done the hard part. Just matter of playing around with it.
It sounded like he said dad.
Dad?
Handsome baby boy. He's ignoring me. He did say dad, lol, that's amazing. Tatsu said his first words.
He's gonna be using them all the time. Dad!
And Lee's not here. Dad! Dad! Daddy! Dad! Dad! Padre! We'll be more concerned if he says father. Ain't that right, Tatsu? Okay, I guess I can add the shading on this, and then I got a cat to feed before he starts speaking sentences. Uh-huh, I knew I had it on erase again. Hey, Tatsu! Hey, Tatsu, you're a bum. When are you gonna contribute around here, huh? Need to sell your feet pics on the internet. Probably make bank on OnlyFans. That or there'll be a lot of people being like, why is there cats on here? But we can't have been the only ones that thought to, like, put cat beans on there. Tatsu, my boy.
I love how he had the inflection of saying, yeah?
No, my boy. Father, help. I love that freaking TikTok sound. There's my boy. No, my boy. Father, help. I'll have to find it and share it to the Discord in case people are confused. I'm sure people are confused. Don't worry. I was confused once.
All shall be explained. All shall be made clear. When the great Cthulhu arrives. Oh, did I show you the thing about the ants?
The ants?
Yes.
Or the ants, is it from, like, if the ants started building a monolith?
No.
Or they start praising to you, trying to...
Yeah.
Yes, I have
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah. That's brilliant. I mean, that is the best explanation of Cthulhu I've ever heard in my life. You can't move because of these crystals. Okay. You got me. What do you want? Bring us sugar. Okay. Can't quite get the skin tone to match, so let me play. Like, yeah.
I just want to finish putting on the shading, and then I will feed the cats.
Computer is thinking. Alright.
We're in trouble if the computers are thinking. There we go. Yay. Okay. That looks good. I'm gonna feed a cat. Okay, y'all. I will see you at next week's stream. I'm gonna go feed a cat and mess with my Tegu and go to bed. Oh wait, we gotta watch a movie and then I'll go to bed.
Yep. I'm gonna wrap this up. There's one thing that I'm gonna do as soon as the computer finishes cycling. This is a big image.
Well, I'll see y'all next time. Have a good week.